Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Red Door Yoga Mini Sutra series online. I'm glad to be here with you. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the idea that your expectations are causing you pain. So, all of us carry expectations, every single one of us. We carry expectations. The issue, of course, is that sometimes we're aware that we have expectations and sometimes we're not. I was actually doing some work on a student recently. I was doing some trigger point work on her. And there was an interesting example that came up because as I was working on her lower leg, she said to me, she said, I don't know what I was expecting, as in I was expecting it to feel like. She said, but obviously I was expecting something because this isn't it. I wasn't expecting it to feel like this. And so that was a really interesting insight that she had in that moment because she realized that her mind was saying, oh, this isn't what I was expecting. And she wasn't aware that she had expectations. But if this is not what she was expecting something. Okay, now that seems obvious, but what I want to point out to you guys is, as I mentioned, your expectations are causing you pain. You see, suffering occurs when we are struggling against what is. And so when we step into a situation with expectations, there is a tendency that we will cling to those expectations. We don't have to. But there is a tendency that we will cling to those expectations in some way, shape, or form. And the more we cling in the face of what is occurring, the more pain, more suffering occurs for us. So if you're going through an experience where you notice that you're really suffering, what you actually want to do is you want to start looking for, what are my expectations here? How am I expecting this moment to be? But this moment isn't lining up with that. Okay? And what you ideally want to do is you want to let go of the expectation. You want to actually step into the moment as it is. Now, a number of years ago, I actually traveled to India, and I was there for 4 weeks. And 4 weeks sounds like a long time to go somewhere, but India is a vast country, and there is so much to experience, so much to see, and it is very different. If you've ever been to India, you will likely know what I'm talking about here. If you've never been to India and you are from, let's say, North America or some non-Asian area, then the tendency is to be a little shocked when you step into India as a culture. First of all, there are way more people in India in that, whatever space that you're in than you're likely expecting. I am actually from Canada, and Canada has, I believe it might be the least densely populated, landmass in the world. And what that means is, based on the size of our landmass, we actually have the least people dispersed throughout it. Now, that's partially because we have areas, like the tundra and whatnot, that don't have a lot of people in it, and that landmass still counts. But the truth is, we are used to a certain amount of space around us, a certain number of people within the space, and right there, India kind of throws you for a loop. You're not expecting that many people in that smaller space. But there are many, many other ways in which India has a tendency to really kind of shock people, throw their expectations off, because our expectations are really built from what we used to, okay? What we hope for and what we're used to. And I loved India. I would go back in a heartbeat. I loved India. I found it fascinating. I found it really kind of held up a mirror to me about my own ego. And I enjoyed that process. I actually enjoyed having my expectations and the way I see the world kind of ripped away from me in order for me to see things anew. But I also, I remember when I came back, I left India and I came back, I said to someone, that I could understand why some people run screaming from India. And I said, it's because, when you step in there, you're going to step in with expectations. And if you can let go of your expectations, it is an incredible place where you can grow so much and you really enjoy that. But if you step in there and you hold on tightly to your expectations, I said, India is one of those places that it's going to knock you around hard. And basically what I'm saying is you are going to suffer because it's so outside of most of our expectations that if you cling, you will suffer. Okay. So I'm using, India as an example here because it's a bit of an extreme for expectations. But What I'm trying to point out here is that if you step into this moment and this moment is a little bit off your expectations, then the tendency is if you're clinging to your expectations, then you'll suffer a little bit. If it's a lot off your expectations, you will tend to suffer a lot. The good news with things being off by a little is not just that you'll suffer a little if you're clinging, but actually when things are off just a little, it's usually a little easier for us to go, you know what, I was expecting this, it's that, I can let go. So our real struggles for most of us tends to come when we're in an experience that is very different from what we were expecting. And in order to face that suffering that's coming up, you actually need to face the moment. You need to face down the idea that this is the moment. You need to realize you're carrying expectations. That's what's causing you pain. And you need to let go of those expectations and just be here. I hope this was helpful, everyone. And if you have questions, please do place them in the comment section below. I'm always checking in to see if there are questions being asked and how I might help you better. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. Please share it with others. We are always grateful when you share it because this is how we expand the Red Door Yoga community. This is how we expand the yogic teachings and let them kind of flow out and help others. So it's always great to be here with you guys. Oh, and a last little piece here. If you would like to put this into more practical usage, then you can go ahead and join us on the Red Door Yoga Self-Mastery Group. So the RDY Self-Mastery Group, it's attached to the Red Door Yoga Facebook page. If you'd like to also join us for a more of a structured mentorship, we've got the Masterful Path Mentorship Program. We only open the doors twice a year. So if the doors are currently closed, just go on to it. It's at themasterfulpath.com, and you can join the waitlist. As soon as we open the doors, I'll let you know. Okay? I look forward to seeing you again online very, very soon. Namaste.